All right, welcome to the show. This is Protect Your Children Now with your host, Christopher Gelson with Protect Your Children Incorporated. ProtectYourChildren.org is the website, ProtectYourChildren.org. ProtectFromPredators.org, another great website, goes to the same place. ProtectFromPredators.org, great website, jam-packed with education and awareness to help you protect your kids in a world that has gone crazy with predators. They are targeting our children everywhere they go. And you have to be educated and informed in order to keep them safe. So that's what Protect Your Children Incorporated is all about. That's what this weekly live show is all about. Helping you to protect your kids. We're doing our part, but parents, you got to do yours. So tonight we got a jam-packed show lined up. We're going to look at 6 ways that groomers, pedophile groomers, groom children. Got to look out for those. We're also going to look at the 4-step plan. We've mentioned this a bit in previous weeks and on our pages, our social media, which, by the way, we're on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Rumble, Instagram, TikTok. We're everywhere. Protect Your Children, Inc. You can find us, follow us, like us on all those platforms. The 4-step plan that these perverted predators have, right, is first to desensitize the child, then demoralize the child, then hypersexualize the child, and then they attack. So we're going to break those 4 things down a little bit later in the show, as well as look at the 6 ways that groomers use to try to get at your kids. And we also have a great hero segment coming up here shortly. As again, we like to highlight kids and teenagers that are doing awesome things where they're sacrificing their own safety even to go help other people, and they're being unselfish. So we like to give the props to those kids that are doing that. So our hero segment will be coming up soon. Let me check the chat over here. Let's see. Let me say hi to everybody. All right, to the show. All right. You know, our co-director, Marie, is not going to be here tonight. She is feeling under the weather. So, guys, keep her in your prayers and your thoughts. And she's at home, probably snuggled up with a blanket and her hubby right now, which is probably a good thing to do, right? You know, especially since it's freezing cold down here in Florida. 43 degrees this morning, 43 degrees. And for Florida, believe me, we're bundled up with the hoodies, a couple of layers, 2 pairs of socks. Get me to get the gloves out, and I will, because it's cold. It's cold out there. All right, so let's jump right in. We're going to go with our hero segment. Let's just kick it right off with our hero segment tonight. These 3 girls, I'm telling you something, they're just out there having fun, doing their thing. They saw something was wrong, and they're like, we're going to go help these people. And very awesome that they did that. So let's check out the Hero Kids segment, and we'll be back in just a couple of minutes.
The 3 teens being called heroes after pulling a couple from a burning home. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Morgan Chesky. Tonight we sit down with all 3 of them who saw the smoke and ran towards the flames.
It was pretty black. You couldn't see anything.
To hear from the 3 friends who ran inside a burning home.
I just saw curtains go up in flame. Well, by the time that all happened, the front yard was on fire too.
Makes this rescue even harder to believe.
At first I thought it was Christmas lights because everyone has their Christmas decorations out.
But when Nicole Ortiz saw the flames,
I was yelling. I was like, get out of the house, get out of the house, it's on fire.
the couple inside couldn't hear, both sleeping after a candle burned too far.
I seen Kiko jump off the porch and just 1-2 into the window, like punched them both out.
Like as soon as I stepped in, I was already, passing out basically.
That's when adrenaline took over. Ortiz searching through the smoke to find that husband and wife.
It made my hair crisp. Like her eyebrows were, yeah. My hair is pretty crisp.
Crisp, but not burned. Everyone saved by the teens, now called heroes.
I just wanted the people to be safe, and that's all I was really worried about.
It's a weird feeling, but it feels good, knowing that you could help somebody and that just things like this don't happen every day.
Yeah, they certainly do not, do they? And good thing those three were there. The fire department tells us the home smoke alarms didn't work.
And of course, the smoke alarms didn't work. I mean, have we not learned this by now, right? So let's give it up for those 3 kids, right? I mean, I don't know, you're running into a burning house to save people. That's pretty awesome. And, they're kind of jovial about it. Hey, my hair was singed. Her eyebrows got singed, man. But ultimately, it felt good to help somebody. And that's what it's all about. When we raise our kids to think about others before themselves, it makes the world a better place, right? And also when it comes to predators, we want to protect them from predators because a predator gets a hold of your child and it can screw up their life for decades and decades, right? So you want to protect them, obviously, from trauma, from harm, the best you can so that they can go out there and make the difference in the lives of people as they are called to do. And those 3 girls certainly did it. So give it up for our 3 girls, our hero segment for tonight. All right, so I want to tell you really quick. I don't know if you guys know, but on our website, you can download this pretty cool flyer right here, this Protect Your Children flyer. It's got our QR code on it, and you can download it for free, print it out. You can leave it out at places. You can hang it up. You can bring it to work and leave it on the lunch table so other people can see it. And it basically gives an overview of what we offer on our website. They can scan the QR code, and they can help keep their kids safe by you just printing this out. So that's on our website. We also have bumper magnets that we are giving away. It's a nice bumper magnet. I wish I had one in front of me, but I don't because I wasn't prepared. Share that with you. But the bumper magnet, most of y'all have seen it before. We've probably sent out 100 of these already. We'll send it out to you for free. It basically says protect your kids when they're online and offline. Protect Your Children Inc. It's got the QR code, just like that. It's a magnet, so you can put it right on your car. And as you're driving around, you're helping to keep kids safe. And that is, of course, free of charge. Just visit our website, protectyourchildren.org. Click on the contact page. Let us know that you want one. Give us an address we can send it to, and we will get it right out to you. So, protectyourchildren.org. Free flyers, bumper magnets. We also have merchandise. Yes, we actually have merch. How cool is that, right? We have merchandise. Now you might say, well, I'm trying to sell me stuff here. I'm going to be honest. We make about $1 on every shirt, coffee mug, everything that we sell. We make $1 on each one. That goes right back into the organization. But as you're wearing the clothes, drinking out of the coffee cup like this cool right here, Protect Your Children cup right here. As you're doing that, you're helping to keep kids safe. So you can visit our merch page, which is also on our website, protectyourchildren.org. All right, disclaimer. We're going to first do the In Case You Missed It segment, right? In case you missed it. It's been a couple weeks. We didn't do a show last week because of Thanksgiving. I hope you all had a great one out there. I certainly ate too much, and then I biked 12 miles. So I think I probably burned it all off. But we got 2 weeks worth of posts on our social media and stuff that people have shared that a lot of you didn't see. As you all know, we have about 5,000 followers on our business page. An average post is seen by about 20 people. Thanks, Facebook, right? On our Facebook group, we've got 667, which, by the way, thank you to whoever 667 was, because we were stuck on 666 for like a week and a half. And I'm like, okay, it's kind of weird. Can someone just follow the group, please? So we got the 667, which is good. Now, out of those 667, maybe 40 to 50 people will see a post, right? So most of you probably haven't seen what was posted. So we bring you this In Case You Missed It segment and kind of recap some of the stuff that was posted by our passionate protectors and by us so that you can check it out later on and, of course, become more educated and informed on how to keep your kids safe. What's going on in the chat here? A Facebook user says, won't show link. Which link are we talking about? Okay. Alicia, glad you are here. Tracy, glad you are here. And yeah, Facebook user, just let me know what link you're referring to, and we'll see what's going on with that. And Tracy says, Satan just wants you to know he's watching too. Yeah, he always is. But you know what? That's what we're about. We're about exposing the evil that's going after our kids every single day, right? Because you bring the darkness into light, and guess what happens? It goes away. And that's what we're all about. Alicia says, glad to see you, brother. Yeah, it's good to see you too. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving, Alicia. All right, so let's check out some of these things that were missed last week. Let me click this little share screen button over here, and let's see what we got. Let's see what we got here. There we go. All right. So this is crazy, right? So you guys know that we are active on Instagram, several of us, and we will have Instagram profiles that will pop up. And usually it's these kids, you know, they're dancing or they're trying to get famous, you know, they're doing whatever. And there are predators all over Instagram. So there's several of us that are out there. When we see these profiles, we usually put a warning in the comment section. We just say, hey, you know, be careful. There's sexual predators all over the site. They're going to target you. They're going to try to like your stuff, comment, try to get you to talk to them. Don't do it. Stay safe on here. Just a warning, right? And it's been doing very well. We've had a tremendous response. We've had tons of other people liking that comment. So a lot of kids are seeing it, and hopefully they're being safe. But occasionally we come across these freaking pedophiles, okay? Now, this boy here, he was just doing a little innocent dance, nothing sexual, nothing bad, right? And look what some of this stuff that like this was an adult man. And he puts a comment on this kid's Instagram reel, right? You better oil up. I'm showing up at 9 p.m. Make sure your parents aren't at home. What kind of creepy stuff is that, right? And another one, I don't see my money. The one below it says, where's my money? What money? What are they talking about, right? Like there's just creepy kind of stuff going on here. And yeah, and they're targeting these kids all over the freaking place. It's just unbelievable. Unbelievable. All right, look at this. All right, Denzel Washington and Mel Gibson send terrifying warning about Hollywood. Yes, both of these great actors are warning the public about trafficking and how Hollywood is involved in it. And they're catching a lot of heat for it, but kudos to them for actually trying to make a difference in this, you know. We're gonna call her Alicia, okay? Because I still don't know how to say her name, Alicia Ba, all right? But Alicia, we're gonna call her Alicia, right? She posted this. This is the truth is that sexual perpetrators look and act like any other normal, quote unquote, person. It can be difficult to pick them out. This is a great read. It's a great article. It's on our Facebook group, Protect All Children from Predators. You can click on that. You can read that article. Very, very powerful. Okay. And this is the grooming behaviors we're going to get into a little bit later. So check that out. This was an Instagram reel that this organization does. It was a child abduction experiment. And it's crazy. If you haven't seen this, I mean, this guy shows up at this kid's school and literally just says, hey, your mom told me to come pick you up because she's running late. Oh, 11, 12-year-old boy, what's he do? Gets right in the guy's car, right? And they're driving. The kid says he's going to text his mom. And the guy says, why didn't you text her or call her before you got in my car? He's like, well, she told you to come pick me up, right? And then he reveals to the kid that, no, your mom didn't send me. And the kid starts freaking out a little bit. And then he tells him, hey, look, you know, I set this up with your mom. Like, you're getting into a stranger's car. Like, it's crazy, but definitely check that out. Definitely check that out. All right, what do we got here? We got this here. 88% of predators are someone that the child knows. Yes, 88% is someone that the child already knows. New Jersey gym teacher allegedly sexually assaulted her student over 4 years. 4 years. This is out of New Jersey. Imagine that. And the police finally got tipped off by an email. This is yet another teacher. We've had an epidemic of teachers. This past year has been unbelievable for the amount of arrests of teachers abusing kids. And we're going to tie that in later on to this whole plan to hypersexualize the kids. You know, that part of the plan that's attacking? Yeah, we're there. And this is why so many kids are being abused by these teachers now. It's out of control. All right, this is a video by Trisha. We thank her for posting this. This guy is talking about the dangers of the foster care system. Very eye-opening. Definitely check out the video. It's on our page. How he explains what goes on in the foster care system and how the kids are all assigned a level from like 1 to 4 before they can be adopted out. let me just tell you something. It is trafficking at its finest, okay? And we mean that by evil. But yeah, definitely check that out. Very powerful. Got a few more here. Yeah, we posted this. Freedom of speech and expression, okay? Sexual acts in front of kids is a protected right, is what we asked. So Florida passed a law that basically said, look, drag queens, and it's not just a gay thing, right? Because we're not bashing LGBT here, right? We're just trying to keep kids safe, okay? Gotta be careful, because the last time I said LGBT, YouTube censored us for a minute and a half. Pretty crazy, right? So Florida passed a law that basically said, look, you can't perform sexual acts in front of young people. Okay, that's pretty legit, right? What's the problem with that, right? And it got taken to the Supreme Court. And now the Supreme Court basically ruled that Florida cannot enforce that law, which is just mind-blowing. So parents, which I don't know why they would, can take their kids to these events, be it drag shows or whatever, and they can experience sexual activity in front of the children, and that's okay, apparently. Like, isn't there laws against this? Like indecent exposure, enticing a child, all those different laws? So how is this okay? But the Supreme Court said, hey, it's all right. Elise posted this. Is your friend's partner tracking what they do? Recognize abuse. It's another great article. Check that out. And there's another crazy one from what we call pedogram. It's not Instagram anymore. It's pedogram, okay? That's why we put on here no longer Instagram in our book. Look at the pedo comments toward this young child. Also, where are the parents? This young boy, right? Look at the first comment from this guy, who's a guy. Let's go, DM, direct message, right? Keep it up. Do the work. This pervert down here is an adult man, Josh. He says, hey, you're hot. This is what kids are facing on social media. If parents are not monitoring what their kids are doing on social media, this is what they're dealing with every single day. Every single day. Man, unbelievable. Here we go with a Pentagon official. Pentagon official from Georgia arrested an undercover human trafficking sting. A Pentagon official. We'll just leave that right there. We'll just leave that right there. And finally, this here was a video that Crystal posted. Thank you, Crystal, for that. This was, you guys probably seen this making the rounds. This was legitimately a young girl, I mean elementary, walking into a girl's bathroom. And the dad, of course, you know, thank God he walked in there with her to make sure no one was in there first. But the dad walks in there with the young girl, and this guy was in there using and he just comes out like it's no big deal. He's in the little girl's bathroom, right? And if that girl had gone in there by herself, she would have encountered this strange man in the girl's bathroom, right? So the video shows, hey, you always got to go in there and make sure it's safe before your kids go in there. So that is the, in case you missed it for this week. Unbelievable. All right, what do we got in the comments here? Tracy said he was talking about a video on the page posted last week. Okay. Wow, unbelievable. Yeah, Tracy said if your kids is online, they're exposed to every sexual predator with internet access. Yeah, they absolutely are. That's a great point. It's all over the freaking place. And remember, desensitize, demoralize, hypersexualize, and then attack. Right? So you can see what their plan is. It's unbelievable. All right, I want to give you a little heads up here. I'm going to show you a video here. The language is pretty graphic. So if you got little ones watching right now, as they say, hide your kids. Okay, they probably don't need to hear this. But this is exactly what kids are hearing at school. You can see our background. Stop the classroom grooming. Okay, look at all these teachers on the screen here. That's just a handful that have been arrested. There's tons more. But Senator John Kennedy, and again, I want to tell you, we're not a political organization. We don't lean right, left. We all have our own personal beliefs, of course, but the organization is not political. We're a 501c3, not for profit, but we are going to bring you the truth when we find it. And Senator John Kennedy reads disturbing quotes from from a liberal children's book, actually a couple of liberal children's books, and it's quite shocking. But this is what elementary school kids and middle school kids are reading and hearing read to them. And if you don't think that the schools are not trying to hypersexualize your kids so that they can be attacked later on, then you got to take the blinders off. But listen to this. And again, it's very graphic, but he's reading right from the books that are in the school libraries. And of course, we want to know, how is that even happening? We brought you a show 2 weeks ago about who's behind all of the books being put in the libraries with all the sexual content for the kiddies to find. And that was Scholastic. None other than Scholastic. Yes, they're coming up with the material. They're approving it. They're putting it into the schools for the kids to find. And the parents have no idea about the content that these kids are getting their hands on. None at all. So let's check this out. I might stop and start in the middle for comment, but this is mind-blowing. Check this out from Senator John Kennedy.
I confess I'm a little confused, and I appreciate the argument or discussion that we've been having, but for me, it's a little too conceptual, or I don't know, metaphysical or theological or whatever you want to call it. I want to try to understand what you're asking us to do. Let's take two books that have been much discussed. The first one is called All Boys Aren't Blue, and I will quote from it. I put some lube on and got him on his knees, and I began to slide into him from behind. I pulled out of him and kissed him while he asked me to turn over while he slipped a condom on himself. This was my ass, and I was struggling to imagine someone inside me. He got on top and slowly inserted himself into me. It was the worst pain I think I have ever felt in my life. Eventually, I felt a mix of pleasure with the pain. Close quote. All Boys Aren't Blue. The second is another much discussed book. I'm sure you're familiar with it. It's called Genderqueer. Okay. Let me read an excerpt from that. Quote, I got a new strap-on harness today. I can't wait to put it on you. It will fit my favorite dildo perfectly. You're going to look so hot. I can't wait to have your cock in my mouth. I'm going to give you the blowjob of your life. Then I want you inside of me. End quote. Now, Mr.
Wow. I'm almost blushing just listening to this. Could you imagine elementary, middle school, and young high school students reading this? The images going through their head? Think about that for a minute. And this is readily available in the school system today. Do the parents have any idea that these books are there? No, of course not. Unless someone speaks out. I mean, is that graphic? This is adult pornography being basically fed right to the kids. Now, what's the intent? What's the goal of that? Why would they want to do that? Oh, it's educational, they say. That's not educational. It's meant to hypersexualize the child, to collapse their morals, to desensitize them, right? To put them in a place where they're much easily able to be abused. That's what this is all about. And parents should be outraged at this. Anybody who cares for children should be outraged with this.
secretary. What are you asking us to do? Are you suggesting that only librarians should decide whether the two books that I just referenced should be available to kids? Is that what you're saying?
No.
Okay. Tell me what you're saying.
Well, first of all, there's this.
Don't give me a speech. Tell me what you're asking me to do.
With all due respect, Senator, the words you spoke are disturbing, especially coming out of your mouth is very disturbing. But what I would also tell you that we're not advocating for kids to read porn, to Senator Booker's
What
point.
are you advocating for?
We are advocating for parents, random parents, not to have the ability, under the guise of keeping kids safe, to try and challenge the world view of every single manner on these issues.
You're getting conceptual again.
I'm not getting conceptual.
Well,
I'm saying
yes,
that
you are. Yes, you are. Because I want to know what you're recommending. It sounds to me like what some of you are saying, the librarians should decide who gets to see that book.
I'm saying when individual parents are allowed to make a decision of where that line is, and To Kill a Mockingbird, which involves a rape scene, should that book be pulled from our libraries? I think it becomes a slippery slope.
I think you ought to think about it a little bit more before you come here.
I've thought about,
if
Senator,
you're going to propose something, you ought to be able, in 30 seconds, to be able to explain what
Senator,
you're asking us to do.
Senator,
Ms. Kelly, what do you understand? Well, let me skip you for a second. Mr. Cameron, tell me what you're proposing.
It's pronounced mix.
All right, wait till you see this, okay? Now, that guy is trying to basically say, what about the slippery slope, right? I mean, should we really be banning books? I mean, because can't that just be a slippery slope, you know? And that's always the disguise, right? Like, we don't want to take away freedom of speech, right? Of course we don't want to do that, right? But isn't there drawing a line? Can you last time I checked, you can't yell fire in an open theater, right? I know, I hate that. And we hear that so much, but it's true. There are limits to free speech. Now, they're going to use this as a way to try to allow kids to be sexualized underneath the parents' noses where they don't realize what's going on. Right? That's what the guy is trying to say. Now let's hear what Mix has to say right here.
Mix, is that how would you like me to refer to you?
Senator, your definition of sexual is synonymous with LGBTQ identity.
I'm not asking you that. I'm asking you to tell me you read those two excerpts.
Genderqueer.
Do you think that, are you asking that only librarians and not parents have any say in whether minors can read those books? Is that what you're saying?
Genderqueer has never been in my school library, so it's never been banned.
Well, suppose it was. Should it be up just to the librarian, or should parents have a say?
There should be facilitation of collaboration between students.
Should parents have a say?
Parents should be working with students and educators to be making decisions, because students are.
And who decides ultimately? The librarian, or do you take a vote, or who?
The parents should decide ultimately what kind of material their kids have access to. It's not exactly a hard question to answer.
Who takes the vote?
Book review committees in the community in my school district.
You want a committee to decide?
There are committees.
Okay. Well, I'm asking you, how do we decide whether the two books that I just referenced should be available in the library? What would you, if you were running things, what would you do?
All Boys Aren't Blue, the scene you mentioned, is about sexual abuse.
I know what it's about.
It's not
What
erotic.
would you do in terms of making the books available? Would you say anybody can see them, or they have to be in a special session?
Students who do not read books like All Boys Aren't Blue cannot learn what is appropriate.
I understand that.
They cannot learn.
I understand, but none of you want to answer my question. You come here and you say censorship is bad, and of course it's bad. But the obvious response is, okay, you heard the books we're talking about. Okay, we're not talking about Catcher in the Rye. So tell me what you want, who gets to decide. And all I've heard is the librarians. And parents have nothing to do with it.
Exactly. Exactly.
And if that's your response, what planet did you just parachute in from?
Parents, Senator.
Or what country, more appropriately? This is not China.
Parents, Senator, for all due respect, parents absolutely have a say. My parents were immigrants, came to this country. We never checked out books without our parents seeing what books we were reading. They encouraged us to read
Mr.
books.
Secretary, I understand this is good for your politics back home.
It's got nothing to do with my politics. My
of
bill is
course
passed.
it does.
My bill is
It has
passed.
everything to do with your politics.
I'm here to.
But you came here with a problem, and I'm trying to understand the solution, and you don't have one.
We solved the solution.
Other than to tell us that we don't agree with you, you're on the wrong. We'll be on the wrong side of history.
We solved the problem in Illinois. We fixed it because we.
Well, there are others you could work on.
Well, that's why
I'm out of time. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
To help other states make these decisions.
Wow. I mean, really? Now, the one guy made a kind of a valid point, right? I mean, parents obviously should be involved and they should know what books their kids are looking at and reading, right? But that's not the whole solution. Why is this content even available? Why does the school system, why does Scholastic and these committees, right? Why do they feel like they have the right to teach your children what they think they should learn and when they should learn it? That's the question. Yeah, Alicia said, notice they dance all around the issue. Yeah, not one of them could say, sure, we should make sure the parents know that this is happening. It's unbelievable. I got a user on here. Ha ha. Ha ha. He said the senator, he's fired. Yeah, he is. But this is exactly what's happening. You know, and I can tell you there was a situation that I encountered years ago. It was a neighbor that I had. And her son, he was, I think about 13, 14. And she said, hey, are you reading the school book that you were assigned to read? He says, yep, I got it right here. And she said, okay, well, let me test you on it. And she starts looking through this book, and it was adult porn, basically. You know, and it was like, and she knew what I did even then with the Protect Your Children stuff and everything. And so she comes to me and she says, is this in the schools? I was like, yeah, apparently it is. Right? And then she started checking his social media. And on YouTube, there was a whole series of videos that acted out the scenes that he was reading in the books. Now, she was an involved parent. She wanted to quiz him on the book, make sure he's retaining what he's reading, right? And immediately she took the book, blocked the YouTube, went to the school, did what needed to be done. So there is something to say about parents needing to be paying attention and be involved. But at the same time, this should not even be accessible to minors, period. If some adult woman or adult man out in the community showed pornography to a child, they would go to jail, and rightfully so. But yet, somehow the school system can do it, and it's educational, without the parents knowing. Do we see a problem here? A very huge problem. Kudos to Senator Kennedy for standing up. This is happening in the school system, where your kids are at 8 hours a day when you're not there. And they wonder why more and more kids are being homeschooled now and going to charter schools and private schools, religious schools, because of this crap that's happening in our public school system. It's absolutely abhorrent. ProtectYourChildren.org is the website. You're listening to Protect Your Children Now with Christopher Gelson, your host. I'm the director and the lead teacher of Protect Your Children Incorporated. ProtectYourChildren.org. ProtectFromPredators.org. Check out the website, jam-packed with education and awareness to help you keep your kids safe. I encourage you to visit. Go to our social media pages, like, follow, tweet, retweet, all that good stuff. and continue to help other people be aware of what is actually happening. Sure, there's a lot of people that don't want to pay attention. There's a lot of people that have their head in the sand. It's really not that bad, right? But those of us that are paying attention to it realize how bad it really is. And we have a literal epidemic of pedophilia going on in this country. And it's at the hands of everything from teachers to counselors to priests to pastors to after school workers to doctors to gymnasts. Remember the whole situation with the gymnastics teacher? It's just unbelievable. And parents have to be like watching and be aware. And we always say it, you don't have to wrap your kids in bubble wrap and keep them hiding behind the four walls of the house. No. But you got to teach them when they're young about right and wrong. And not just, good touch, bad touch. You got to talk about good talk, bad talk. You got to let them know what the warning signs are. Because these groomers, and we're going to get into that in a minute, these groomers have very similar traits. And if you're educated on them, and the kids are educated on them, they will pick it up and they'll say, this just seems weird. This just seems a little strange. Wait a minute, mom or dad told me about this. That's a warning flag. I'm out. But if the kids don't know, the parents out there that are throwing their kids out onto the internet with no parental supervision, without any parental controls, to talk to whoever they want, whenever they want, about whatever they want, the ones that are sending their kids off to school, and they're just trusting blindly that all these teachers and everybody there are just safe people. The parents are letting their kids go down the road to their friend's house without confirming who else is inside that friend's house, or where him and or her and that friend is going. What are they doing? The parents that have the hands off, those kids are at highest risk of being abused. So parents, it's imperative that you are involved and paying attention and getting educated yourself so that you can teach your children. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. All right, let's look at these grooming behaviors. So this is 6 perpetrator grooming behaviors every parent needs to know. Now I'm going to tell you, sapria.org. So that's the 6 things. It's a lot of information to take in, but definitely visit sapria.org or our website or our Facebook page. That's where the information is found. You can dig into it a little bit further. Wow. Uh-oh. Tracy said you're back. Tracy, what are you listening? Which platform are you listening on? Looks like we got censored again somehow. Probably YouTube. Right now we've got a couple of them on. We got one on YouTube. We got a couple on Facebook. So they're scattered around. A bunch on Rumble. Yeah, Tracy's on YouTube. So it seems like YouTube's doing the censor thing again. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. We're going to be having to migrate off of YouTube. I mentioned this last week because YouTube is not letting us speak freely. They're censoring everything. Here we are trying to educate parents and protect kids, and YouTube is censoring all sorts of stuff that you can't even read about it. Unbelievable. Wow. Maria says, I'm listening on Facebook. I send you, I just post something about a game about serial killers. It's scary. It's teaching kids how to kill. Oh my gosh. Maria, did it cancel out at all for you? Did you get any quietness through the stream, or has it all been good so far? Please let us know in the chat. I'm guessing it's just YouTube again, because YouTube is literally censoring live streams. They are listening, have algorithms that listen to every word that is said, and they can stop it before it goes out. It's a bit Orwellian, but yeah, that's what's happening. All right. In the last few minutes of the show here, let's look at the pedophile predator's plan. He's going to be YouTube again, probably cutting this out, because dare to mention how to keep kids safe. Unbelievable. All right, we shared this earlier in the week and last week too. And a lot of what we've seen already Now they can attack. So desensitize, they demoralize, they hypersexualize, and then the predators attack. And with the amount of kids that have been caught in relationships with teachers, for example, that have been going on for 6, 7, 8, 9 months, at what point did the child think that that was all right? How did they get to that point? Were they raised to believe that that would be okay? Probably not. But they got desensitized, they got demoralized, they got hypersexualized, and they got attacked. And that's what the plan is. Everything from the books at the schools, to the videos, to the social media, to the music, to the commercials, to the trends. Everything is meant to desensitize the kids, to demoralize the kids, to hypersexualize them, so that a predator can come along and have the least resistance possible when they want to abuse a child. That's the evil plan. And it's happening a lot. You got to teach your kids to look out for these things. This is what's going to happen to them if they're not careful. And it's not painting a pretty picture, right? Like they'll try to make it seem. Now, your parents they just don't know. But this is actually okay. Don't listen to them. Hide this from them. Those lies. All right. Well, it's been a jam-packed show. Tomorrow we're going to listen to the replay ourselves and see exactly how much got censored. We will most likely be off YouTube next week, so prepare for that. We will post links to Rumble, Twitter, and we'll see about Facebook at this point. Looking at our viewership, the Facebook group, there's hardly ever anybody attending this live show out of the 667 people there. So we may go exclusively to Rumble starting next week, but we'll keep you updated on that. You don't need an account for Rumble, but if you want, you can create one. It's free, just like YouTube, but Rumble's not going to censor material that's trying to protect children, as YouTube is doing, and apparently Facebook did as well. So thank you all for being here. Appreciate you. Make sure you share this podcast to be available shortly after the show ends. Share it. Tell people about it. Educate parents so they can keep their kids safe. Until next week, you guys stay strong. Stay warm out there because it's cold around the country. You stay focused and keep protecting your kids and be nosy.